The painful thing to say is that unfortunately the debate is over for a period until Manchester United become successful again and win leagues. It should cause real tremors over Old Trafford.
Have you seen positives from Ruben Amorim's time at Man United?
Not at the moment. You mentioned there nobody likes to lose games. Of course not, but sometimes it's the way you lose. I bet you he can't believe how bad the United team is. I think he's been shocked at how bad this group of players are.
To say at this moment in time, it's a sorry situation, a very sorry situation when you watch United play. I think they're all sort of walked off thinking, oh, we're OK here, and got away without making a mistake.
This United team's almost boring, seems a bit strong.
Look, Manchester United are breaking every record in the wrong direction at this moment in time.
He should have signed a longer contract.
Because this is going to take longer.
There's a long way back for this team. I know a manager will come in, you hope he will get more out of this group, but this is an average United team.
This has been a graveyard for players and managers for 10 years. Only really Bruno in the last 10 years has hit a level that maybe has exceeded expectation. And Amorim's finding that in his first few weeks. He's finding that it's not just a quick answer. He came in, he was drunk with enthusiasm. We loved the way in which he brought energy. But I think he's sobered up pretty quickly on the side of the pitch watching these players play. I'd be surprised if City didn't win today, as bad as they've been in the last few weeks and as below par. But I think United are at a different level of bad. The three up front are not good enough. The two behind and the one and the two wing backs, they're not good enough.
We're a bit lucky the managers, new managers come. Great, happy days. No far from it. You left a manager down there last week, and it's not about liking managers, because people are quick to throw at me going, oh, I fell out with managers. But I tell you, when I was out on the pitch, I didn't want to let them down, even if I despised them.
Honestly, it was the worst. It was the worst that we've seen under Erik ten Hag.
I wouldn't want to be in the trenches with them players. I just wouldn't want to be. I don't see it. Do I know all these personally? Absolutely not. But I know my eyes don't lie to me.
Far too long we've seen players mope around that pitch and still continue to get a game and, oh, he's on the bench today. No, it's got to be non-negotiable. If you don't give your all in your job, you're gone.
Enthusiasm for the game, a bit of energy. We're not even seeing that from this group of players. It's absolutely disgraceful what they're doing week in, week out. The results, they're turning up. Excuses after the match, they're blaming everyone.
Because we cannot keep year after year watching Manchester United being dross. They've lost 15 games away now on the bounce in away games against big teams. They lose goals from corners, they don't come back from behind. There is a mentality and cultural problem in the team and in the dressing room.
Because I don't know how we can listen to the United players doing interviews anymore, because I'm not sure they're an honest group. So why should we listen to it? I don't even want to get real honesty from this group of players.
So you might be upset with what pundits are saying tonight, or what fans are saying and what social media is saying. Your own teammates saying it, and you've got nowhere to go.
And the fact is, they don't dig in. They lose too many matches. They've lost, was it 13 already this year, 14 last season. So even when they're not at their best, they don't dig in. They don't roll their sleeves up. I don't like the spine of the team.
You know, United's goalkeeper rolling his foot on the ball and waiting for things to happen. That's not it. That's not what this club is. That's not what we do here.
Playing out from the back and taking chances. That's just madness. That's just common sense. That's just your football knowledge. Why take chance at Newcastle where you're under the cosh? And that's got to come down to your DNA. And these players haven't got the DNA, a lot of them, of a Man United player. That's his beliefs and his philosophy, and that's fine. But I like to play for teams with philosophies is we like to win football matches. I like that philosophy.
Manchester United have been the most woeful. This is the worst Manchester United team that have ever started a Premier League season.
Are these good players? I think some of them are. But are they good enough for Man United? Absolutely not.
Whoever you are as a wide player at Manchester United, you've got to run that way as fast as you can, you've got to run back that way as fast as you can. And then the rest of it, to be fair, they've got the talent and they've got the ability. But if you don't do that, there's no place for you in the club, there's no place for you in the team.
If you look at United going, what would you hang your hat on? What would you say they're really, really good at? They've not got a world-class striker, they haven't got a strong spine, they're not athletic, and I keep saying it. See, look, United go, I'm not sure what they're kind of good at. They're not really good at anything.
We know what crap looks like in terms of effort, and that's what we saw. Walking around the pitch, no urgency, no energy. They look drained of confidence.
I watched Forest the other night. I was kicking my cups of tea over. I was watching it, all I hear was they're neat and tidy, and they were never going to score.
Just give your absolute all, and the players not running back. We've seen Rashford and Garnacho for years stand up on that left and right wing, not chase back when fullbacks have gone past them, and keep their place in the team. No more.
I'm getting fed up with this. But have you seen signs of what? Signs of getting the odd draw. Every time we come to Old Trafford, they're getting applauded off the pitch for getting draws. So that's where the mindset and where the standards of the club is.
It wasn't easy to get a manager at the end of last season for Manchester United or any club in Europe.
So you are openly admitting that they were looking for another manager.
You just said it,
yeah, exactly.
They admitted it.
Exactly. So they're looking for somebody else, and they can't actually get. So they don't want this manager. If you're happy with your manager, you don't start speaking to other managers.
That was a shocking day all round in terms of idea, in terms of plan, in terms of effort, in terms of everything.
Champions League final was confirmed today. Matheus Cunha is a Manchester United player making that switch from Wolves. United have triggered that £62.5 million release clause. Is this going to be a success or a failure, Gab?
I think there were better options out there. My unease with Cunha is that, we're going to find out, right? Are they signing him to play behind the striker, or are they signing him to be the center forward? I think with that money, you could have gotten somebody else, like, say, Victor Osimhen, and yes, I'm obsessed with him, but who I think would have really addressed the needs in terms of the center forward position, which I think is more of an issue given you still have Bruno and Amad Diallo there. And is roughly the same age. And unlike Matheus Cunha, does not have a history of ill discipline and getting into rows with opponents and teammates and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, he may do well, but I don't love this deal.
Big transfer of the day. Manchester United have signed Matheus Cunha from Wolves. Mark, let's start with you. Just break down this deal for us if you can.
Evening. It's like being the first day at school, isn't it? Great to see you both. Yeah, big news today for Manchester United fans. Obviously, disappointment in the Europa League final. They miss out on a load of cash, but they have got a player through the door. We've got a complete agreement between Manchester United and Wolves worth £62.5 million, which is payable in 3 instalments. This is subject to a visa and confirmation of registration. I think the key thing with this is the Brazil international wanted Manchester United. He's been making all of the right noises over the course of the last few weeks and months that his destination for him was Old Trafford and only Old Trafford. And this is a player that scored 33 goals in 92 appearances for Wolves and becomes Ruben Amorim's first signing of what is going to be a key summer for Manchester United.
Yeah, interesting you should say that Cunha desperately wanted Manchester United. I think United were pretty impressed that his desire was to come to Old Trafford, given that there was no European football, of course, next season. And they've been tracking him for a while. The opening game of the season before last, when he performed so well at Old Trafford. So, Carve, United, on the first day of this window, making what looks like a statement signing.
I think United are saying we still mean business. The season only finished a few days ago. Last season was totally unacceptable from United's point of view. There have to be big changes. Now, the first big change is a player as good as Matheus Cunha coming in. Everyone's seen what he could do at Wolves. It is a little bit surprising that he is willing to move to Manchester United at the moment, because people will be looking at this and saying, first of all, where's the money coming from United? And secondly, why does he want to go to United in their current state? But as Mark mentioned there, he still sees United as one of the biggest clubs in the world. We were told a couple of months ago that he loves Manchester United. He didn't care whether they were in the Champions League or not. His heart was set on moving to Manchester United. And as to where the money's coming from, United are paying in instalments. This release clause in the new contract that Cunha signed in January stated that he could leave if somebody paid £62.5 million in 3 instalments over 2 years. Now, last week, United got in touch with Wolves and said, can we pay this £62.5 million in 5 instalments? Wolves said, absolutely not. Pretty quickly, United came back to them and said, fine, we'll pay in 3 instalments. So in actual fact, they're only putting down £21 million. That'd be good.
That would be good.
£21 million at the moment, with 2 more instalments of around £21 million. So for a club as big and rich as Manchester United, it is an affordable deal. Although I hear what people are saying about United having FFP, PSR concerns and the finances not being as good as they used to be in the old days.
Mark touched on it there about what Matheus Cunha can bring to Manchester United. If we can just look at some of the stats from last season, you can see exactly why Manchester United were desperate to sign Cunha. 15 goals. He ranks 8th in the Premier League. And remember, he's not an out-and-out striker, Matheus Cunha. Goals from open play, they all came from open play. That equals 5th in the rankings. 110 shots, 44 of which were on target, and that puts him in the top 4 and the top 5, respectively. The expected goals, he comes in at 30th with 8.63. Mark, just on this transfer itself, though, we've mentioned it is day one of this mini transfer window, but it appears to be good timing for both Manchester United and for Wolves, doesn't it?
This is, I think, sensible business from Wolves. They signed this new contract with Cunha in January, and they knew exactly what was going to happen, and they could almost control how this summer was going to play out. Instead of having negotiations, back and forth, talk about other clubs, other teams coming to the table, it could drag on because Manchester United could say, actually, we don't want to pay this money. We're going to try and drive a hard bargain. We're going to wait. We're going to let the player agitate. He might not turn up for pre-season. There might be one of these things. We talk about sagas every single summer, don't we? And it becomes a bit of a nightmare for the players and the clubs involved. However, Wolves have exonerated anything like that happening by going, right, this is simple. This is the contract. This is what you've signed. The player's happy with it. The agent's happy with it. And anyone that wanted to buy Cunha knew exactly what the deal was. It was laid out, it was contractual, and it was simple. So therefore, Wolves will say this is great because on day one of the window, we don't have to talk about Matheus Cunha anymore. We know he's gone. It's sorted. And they can start to focus on the replacements that they want to get in as his replacement. So therefore, you've not got any awkwardness between the club, between the player. I think what Manchester United are getting is a player that, as we said, wants to go there. And one thing we've certainly seen over the course of this season, he's passionate. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He's not scared to go toe-to-toe with other players on the pitch and say exactly what he thinks off the pitch. So therefore, right now, that might be the right type of thing for that Old Trafford dressing room.
Yeah, so Matheus Cunha, as good as in at Old Trafford. Big question some are asking now is what impact could that have, if any, on their captain, Bruno Fernandes? Lots of talk surrounding his future, Carve. Is there a chance we could see Bruno Fernandes leaving Old Trafford?
I think if it happens, it'll happen this week because Al Hilal are very keen to sign him. They're willing to pay up to £100 million. They're willing to make him one of the best paid players in the world. But they're playing in the Club World Cup, which starts in 2 weeks' time. They've got a big game against Real Madrid, I think on June the 18th. They want a new superstar signing. Is it going to be Bruno Fernandes? Is it going to be Victor Osimhen? Is it going to be, incredibly, Cristiano Ronaldo? They also need a new head coach. I think the new head coach could be Simone Inzaghi, who may leave Inter Milan after last night. He's going to have a meeting with Inter on Tuesday about his future. But getting back to Bruno Fernandes, if you're a Manchester United supporter, do you trust what your manager said in public? Because I think on Friday, it'll probably be the last time we hear from Ruben Amorim for a while. He was very clear. He was asked some great questions about Bruno Fernandes' future, and he said, basically reading between the lines, I've spoken to Bruno, he's got this incredible offer, but he's told me he wants to stay. He's got a lot more to offer at this level, at his age. He knows the plans we've got for the club. He's going to stay. So if you trust your manager and what he's saying, Bruno Fernandes is staying. But what about this offer from Al Hilal? What does Bruno Fernandes himself want? Is he tempted? Why was his agent in Riyadh on Thursday having talks with senior Al Hilal executives? And what do Manchester United really think? We know their position is the player is not for sale. He's extended his contract. He's the captain. He's four-time player of the year at Manchester United. He's not going anywhere. But both of you two, if we were sitting in a pub having a drink, a non-alcoholic beer, you would both say to me, yeah, but Carve, every player has his price. Every player has his price. The club can say, oh, he's not for sale, he's not for sale. But they can look at it and say, this guy's going to be 31. Are we ever going to get £100 million for him ever again? I don't know. All I know is that United's position is he's not for sale. Ruben Amorim is saying he's not going anywhere. And I think the player loves United, and he's not motivated by money.
Mark, before you come in there, Carve alluded to Ruben Amorim talking about Bruno Fernandes in that post-season tour of Asia, where Carve broke it down there. We can actually hear exactly what Ruben Amorim said about Bruno Fernandes.